right, howdy, folks. I'm here. Sorry. Okay. I told Danny Lyon before the stream I would explain what about the dad joke thing.
Okay.
So Friday, when I picked up my son, we went to the park while we were waiting for my teenagers to get out of school.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, well, can I just go over to the park and play? And I'm like, sure, because I can see everything right from where we're parked in the shade. And he comes back asking me, how bad does this look? And he shows me his face. And I'm like, what happened? That's going to end up being a really bad bruise. He goes, oh, I kneed myself in the face while playing at the park. So somehow his knee was able to hit himself in the face.
I guess that's the advantage of being on the chubbier side. Your knees can't get to your face.
So I wanted some dad jokes related to kids hurting themselves, if possible. So I can basically make fun of him in a fun way when I pick him up on Tuesday.
Right.
And does anyone have any child injuring themselves dad jokes?
Yeah, just tell them, don't worry. Next time you trip, say, don't worry, the floor just missed you.
Chicks dig scars.
Well, his whole thing was he was not worried about it at all. So
rub some dirt on it and quit crying, bitch.
How about next time it happens, just go, hey, that's just your brain ringing the doorbell.
I don't see any ones that I'd actually use yet.
Yeah.
But as I said, he wasn't worried about it. I was somewhat worried when we went out to dinner because I'm worried like someone's going to think, oh, did that guy hit his kid?
We'll tell him. Tell the person, well, at least the ground likes enough to give him a hug.
Well, here's the thing. Why don't you just tell people in your state to mind their own fucking business?
Well, no one said anything, but it was still kind of like you see a kid with a injury like that on his face. It looks like if
it's a girl, maybe I might do a double take. If it's a guy, I'm not gonna give it much of a thought. I'm gonna be like, okay,
maybe you should point out more about the knee being like, did the knee get hurt? Like the face was hurt, right? But the knee hit the face. So is your knee okay? Like, knees don't heal really great. You don't want to have a knee injury for the rest of your life. Something along those lines, maybe. I don't know.
I fought my knee and my knee won.
Gravity,
yeah,
undefeated champion forever.
I do like that line of thought, Dandelion. I'll just when I pick him up, I'll be like, "Hey, I just want to make sure. How's your knee doing? Because you need yourself in the face."
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it's kind of like just really silly, but if it's taking attention, obviously he wasn't upset by it, so
No, he was more upset with like how it looked, not how it felt.
Exactly.
How about me 1, you 0?
Just tell the kid he's got a good story.
Well, it was kind of funny when I sent the picture to his mom saying that he hurt himself at the park, and her response was not like, "What happened exactly?" She was just like, "Was it when he was with you, or was it when he was at school?" And I'm like, "It was when he was with me." And her response was, "Oh, thank God, because I don't need another call from the school."
Oh, jeez.
I know that feeling. Oh, God, I know that feeling. Except ours with daycare, it used to drive us nuts. It was like all of a sudden the phone ring, it's the daycare. It's like, fuck, man. What is it with you guys and not being able to watch my son? My son lacerated his tongue and had to get stitches in his eye eyelash because of these fucking idiots not watching them.
No, I had issues with daycare for an entirely different reason. Back when Katty was much younger, and
Obviously.
one of my
Much younger.
yeah, when
Much younger, I would hope so.
I had my little condo, I was working 2 jobs full time. I was going to school full time and taking care of Stephanie or Katty. Sorry, I shouldn't use her real name.
You already did it several times on the stream anyway, dude.
I know.
Before.
But my neighbor happened to run a daycare out of her condo, and she was limited to so many people because of the size of the condo. Now, the issue I had with her was not anything to do with how she didn't like not watching the kids or anything like that. She did a great job. It was the fact that her husband cheated on her all the time, to the point where I once found out that he was having intercourse with another one of our neighbors in the jacuzzi when she brought the kids to the pool at the complex. And I was just like, I don't know if I really want her in that daycare anymore just because of that aspect.
Yeah,
because she, as I said, she was a great person. She did a great job. But when it came to her husband, she was just like, she would do anything he told her to, essentially.
Well, I had one time when I was in South Carolina, there were 2 main daycares. There was and the one was closest to my house, which was literally the place I was renting, was literally I could walk to it. And I mean, it was a great facility. Hola, Mrs. Cardenas.
How you doing, babe?
Hola, Mrs. Cardenas.
And the staff was great, everything was great, and then all of a sudden all the staffers left, and then they got a new director, and I couldn't stand this lady, and all of a sudden we were getting complaints about my son and my daughter, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I walk in there a couple of times and I see the daycare ladies on their phones surfing the internet. I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? But what finally killed it was my son ran into daycare, and then he was going to run back out because he was grabbing his sister. And the director was like, hey, Joe, where do you think you're going? And I turned my head around the corner. I was like, he was getting his sister. And I called my wife and I said, we're pulling the kids. I said, I'm done with this. I'm done with this place. Because my kids, they hated going there. They got to a point they started crying about going there because the new staff was just shit. And it was really sad too, because we ended up starting a trend. We left, and then like 20 other children left, and we got a call from the owner, and she was like, yeah, you guys left, and we've had like all these other kids. And she asked us what happened. It's like, okay, well, here's what happened. And it was too bad because she was such a sweet lady. But she was running 2 daycares, and she just was not paying attention enough to that one.
Sorry, I was looking up dad jokes about injuries.
I know, I looked that too, and I couldn't find. There was nothing good in there. It wasn't really related.
Yeah, nothing about that. But I did like, Dad, I broke my arm in 2 places. You should stop going to those places.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where does it hurt? They point to it and says, well, then don't touch it.
I haven't heard that one in forever. Hey, it hurts when I do this with my arm. Then don't fucking do it.
There was an opening to a house once where he's when he's doing the interviewing for the clinic patients, and the woman's in there complaining about her hand hurting because every time she touches something it hurts, and the bit goes on for like 5 minutes, but it's essentially the whole end of the joke is, you've hurt your finger. Stop touching stuff with your finger.
Yeah.
Well, how about I broke my finger last week. On the other hand, I'm okay.
No, I always loved how House would just like. I remember when I first watched House, my wife said, "Yeah, I think you can relate to this guy." And so I watched the pilot episode of House, and I go, "Oh, so you think I'm an asshole?" She goes, "Well, yeah." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm definitely like that guy." Because I always loved when he would just say, like, "You're an idiot."
Sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah, exactly. It's like he was that doctor who it's like, don't tell. He's that doctor I could respect because it's like, don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me the fucking truth.
Sorry. Now, I again, I'm falling down a rabbit hole of dad jokes and injuries. I was watching women's volleyball. 2 minutes in, there was a wrist injury. Don't worry, though. I'm fine now.
That one could go with watching a cheerleading competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I took over the Wi-Fi core last week. I guess I lost connection.
Entertainment purposes, I want to say this. I can't wait to watch the last Dexter episode after we're done with this. But I'm going to tell you what, I did not watch the latest Alien Earth because I'm like, after the Tickle Me Xenomorph episode, I find out this is a flashback. I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't care what happens to these people on the Not Nostromo.
I'm sorry. I like this is another one I just got to read out loud because to me it's funny as all hell. I want to reword it a little bit because it's written kind of fucked up, but it's essentially football causes brain injuries, and that's just the spectators.
Elihu sent out a video yesterday to me, and I liked one of them. It said, on the local news, there was a child who swallowed 6 small horses, and the doctors list the patient's condition as stable.
Can you share your? Oh, you can't share the screen. I forgot. You can play that clip. I thought you liked those little AI
I
jokes.
can share I can share someone else sharing something, but I can't share something myself.
Chris, can you share that little video? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go over here.
Sorry for all the noise. My zombie chickens are going crazy today.
Oh, Dandelion.
No problem.
I'm down to, I lost 2 more.
Did ya? Did they get out or did they just die?
Well, we lost one of the roos, actually, which didn't surprise me. But the other one, the hen, we're not sure why that one died.
How many we lost this week? 3. I lost 1 turkey. Derpy died. Another little chicken died last night, and then another one died. Yeah, on Tuesday. I buried her though. I didn't chuck her in the compost. Like there's a compost bin, you can put shit like that in it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't want to think about Derpy in the compost all week, so I buried her. And then yesterday I found a really nice rock that I'm going to write her name on.
See, my wife wants to go ahead and expand on this with the chick. So we're getting about 4 to 6 eggs a day. And my wife's like, okay. She's already saying we got too many. I'm like, okay, well, we need to figure out how to do things with literally fake news. Scientists.
Yeah.
All right, here we are. Ready?
Have discovered a species of lizard whose sperm is invisible, according to.
Wait, hold on. I got to start over.
What the fuck?
Hang on.
Scientists have discovered a species of lizard whose sperm is invisible, according to the lead researcher. They never saw it coming. A local child is in the hospital this evening after swallowing 6 small plastic horses. Doctors described his condition as stable. A new study has shown that women who are slightly overweight live longer than men who mention it.
According to the American Medical Association, 6 out of 10 men now report some form of erectile dysfunction. It's a growing problem.
An archaeological convention was canceled after attendees were informed that their careers were in ruins. Upset attendees were advised to complain to their mummies. Police tonight say they have arrested a man who claims to be Satan. Authorities say he was wanted on possession. Police say an unneutered Chihuahua has been committing a series of brazen crimes. Officials warn the public to be on the lookout for a dog that looks ballsy. An area man was hit in the head by a falling book. He has only his shelf to blame. An area family is in custody tonight after assaulting each other in jail. Authorities say they took Monopoly very seriously.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Eli, you bastard. Why didn't you send that to me?
I don't know. I thought Chris first. Sorry, man.
I can't wait to see what kind of salad I'm gonna end up in. So baby, I'm so in love with you.
Oh God! Is that made worse by the knowing that VeggieTales is a thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to know that VeggieTales is a thing.
Eli, you sick motherfucker. Why aren't you sending me this shit? I need good
Hot
laughs.
shoe. Hot shoe.
You need to be putting
No,
them on the
that's-
group. Dude,
I don't
you
know
need
if
to be
it's
putting
made
them in the
worse
group
because
chat.
VeggieTales a real thing, or the fact that VeggieTales was a primarily Christian-based cartoon.
There is that joke too.
And there's that Seth Rogen cartoon food movie thing.
Yeah. In fact, I think there's a sequel to it now, or maybe a TV show. Let me.
I don't know if even Eli who noticed this, but when I first watched it, afterwards I watched it again because I thought it was fucking hilarious. Here, share it really quick. Share it again.
Okay, it's Sausage Party Foodtopia. It's
Okay.
actually 2 seasons of a TV show that started last year.
Damn it, I gotta clear my screen.
All right. If
And
you share it
considering-
again,
Considering everything, I might have to watch that one.
Movie, the sausage party movie. I never saw that. Didn't look interesting. It just looked like a bunch of dick jokes.
It basically is a bunch of dick jokes, but it's
That's
basically
why I said it.
well. I was gonna finish. Pardon the pun.
Wah, wah.
Come on.
It's a bunch of dick jokes at the end, but at the end of the dick joke, they make a point about like religion or society, or so it's like it's kind of interesting how they do some of the jokes.
here, share this again real quick.
Hold on.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but after I watched it the first time, I was like, I went back and watched it, and the first thing I noticed is, all right, so the cucumber's getting excited, but look at the carrot. The carrot's going like he didn't even know what's coming.
Okay, I did not notice that.
Yeah.
He's right. He's right. No, look at the tomato's eyes. He's
Yeah, it's like,
"Thank God I'm not YouTube fucked."
Mhm.
Karen's like, thank God you're here, man. I need a break.
For her pleasure.
Oh God, it's gonna come out pickled.
Yes.
Oh my god.
What was that show even on? What channel was that show even on?
What, VeggieTales?
Yeah, I don't know.
As far as I
TNT.
know, it was not on any major network. It was a lot of home video releases.
Oh, okay. I just recall seeing, there was something weird that was starting to scare the ever-loving shit out of me when I was walking into Walmart the last few months. They had
walking into
Barney.
Walmart scares the
What
other
did,
loving
what
shit out
did
of
she
me.
look
period.
like? What did she look like?
They had Barney products.
Yeah,
Barney's never going away.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to kill you, Mike. I was like, and I thought of Mike, and I'm like, I want to kill you now, Mike, because you're one of the assholes who probably put the shit out.
No, I'm not. I primarily do books and magazines. But yeah, Barney is still
I needed
something that
someone to blame. I needed someone to blame, and it was you.
Well, Barney still sells quite well. I mean, there was a time where Katty really liked Barney.
You did it again.
My kids were too old for Barney. Fuck, I can't even remember when Barney came out.
I hate you, you hate me, but hang Barney.
In a tree.
I felt really lucky because the only show that I ended up having to watch with my nieces, like that they were like super obsessed with, was Paw Patrol. And you know what? I can fucking watch Paw Patrol all day. Then that.
Well, the one show we loved as a family together that we watched a lot when the kids was on Disney, and that was Phineas and Ferb. And that was just a show that had a very simple formula, but we were all able to watch it together, have fun, just enjoy the show. And I mean, we watched it together as a family, so that was pretty freaking awesome.
Actually, one of the best way you can like tease your kid about the bruise, keep insisting that he got into a fight with another kid. Because kids hate it when they know a truth and you keep like not believing their truth and like saying, so what happened to the other kid? Is the other kid okay? That'll drive him nuts.
Yeah, it's like, what happened to it's like, how's the other guy look?
Right? Like you should have seen the other guy, but like if you just do it I would do it. I would probably pull that on it because kids really hate that.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
I agree with that idea, Daddy Lion, but I think if I do that joke, I will just be more of like, yeah, you should have seen how the kid who fought you looked. He looks even worse than you.
Yeah.
But keep it as the joke because he did it to himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The kid who did that to you is ugly as all hell. The kid who did that to you is mean. The kid who did that to you needs to work on his homework.
Yeah.
It's like, son, stop fighting with yourself. You're losing.
There is no winner when you fight yourself.
Yeah. But yeah, kids hate it when they tell you the truth and you just keep like pulling something else out of a hat that's not related to the actual thing that happened, because I know that drove me crazy when I was a kid. But maybe that was just me.
Dandelion, do you have any kids?
I do not.
Okay, you're a ginger. Why do you not have kids?
I'm not actually a ginger. It's box ginger. But what do you mean? Why don't? That's not like a good reason to have kids. Oh, I have red hair. I'll have children. I never got pregnant.
It's a good reason. But
maybe I just never got pregnant.
I have a thing for redheaded women. So what do you expect?
I never got pregnant. That's why I didn't have kids.
Oh,
amazing. Who knew?
Why they don't have kids?
Who knew that pregnancy was a requirement to have kids?
I didn't know. I thought it just was, penguin, a stork stopped by and something one day and knocked on your door.
Right. But anyway, you
never know.
You can ask people their age more than you can ask why they don't have kids. Because if they wanted kids and they
remember, hold on. Remember, two of my kids aren't biologically mine, so it does happen that you can end up having kids without doing the fun part.
I was kidding. Yeah. I never understood having kids without the fun part, because then it's just like hell. It's just like hell with no reward.
Says Chris,
at least you want to get something worth out of that 9 months. I mean, the woman at least deserves something for the 9 months of shit.
I mean, that couple look pretty nice, but
anyway, you probably should less ask people about why they don't have kids than what age they are. Because I mean, for me, it's fine. I'm not bothered by it, but some people would be really upset if they couldn't have them and they really wanted them, and they don't really want to be questioned about why they never had them.
They tell me it's none of my business, and I call it a day.
Sure. Just, you know.
Hey, I admit I'm an inquisitive person. I'm extroverted.
But you may not also want to hear the answers sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I did want to hear the answer. Yes, I was making a joke about the red hair thing. That is because of my
the
partiality.
reason I'm making that joke is because a few years back, I lived with a couple of friends of mine, where one of the guys was much older. The man in the relationship was much older than the woman, and I met him at a bar that some other friends and I were going to, but it came up. When you're at a bar and you're drinking and smoking, people start talking about stuff, and one of the topics we were talking about was kids. And someone asked, well, why haven't you and Linda had any kids yet? And the basic answer was, because no matter how many pills I take, I can't get it hard enough anymore. You want to really go into this conversation more? Because I'll be happy to talk about it more. I will spend the next hour talking about my penis if you really want to know the answer.
Yeah, men love to do that.
Oh, he was unabashedly, he did not give a fuck. He would talk about stuff just to annoy people who ask their own kinds of questions.
That's the sort of thing that makes people uncomfortable. So
yeah, the other thing to be fun to know more about this relationship. No, hold on. I want to go further into the relationship. One, they had a fetishized relationship. Just to go in, just to talk about it a little bit. But she was also a sex therapist who performed certain acts in their living room with other people.
Okay,
And
I make one joke and ask one question. And
I know, but I'm doing exactly what he would have done. He'd be happy about this conversation, and he did pass away a few years back, which sucked. But he would appreciate this conversation.
Well, I mean, the other day I just asked someone who got married. They're about my age. They're, roughly our age. And I said, are you guys thinking about having kids? And they said, yeah, in about a year or two. It's just a question sometimes guys ask. I figure it's just a common thing. Yes, I understand it may be uncomfortable for Dandelion for me to ask you.
It's not uncomfortable.
It is common. It is very. Okay, when I got divorced and I started dating.
I want to get off this conversation for a little bit. Just because it's getting kind of.
Hey, you guys want to hear a joke about paper?
Sure, but I was going to go to the other topic that I had. So go ahead.
Well, never mind. It's terrible.
Oh
God.
You should say tissue paper.
Okay, how about a joke about construction? Well, forget it. I'm still working on it.
Okay, why don't you build it up and we'll get back to us?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, how do you get your tissue to dance?
You put a little boogie in it.
Exactly.
Why aren't seagulls? How come seagulls don't fly over the bay?
What was that about a new topic, Mike?
They'll be called bagels.
Has anyone watched the new season of Rick and Morty?
No.
Yes.
No, I've never seen
it. Yes.
I've never seen Rick and Morty either.
Okay. For
Mr. Poopy
not including the first 2 or 3 seasons, after they got popular, each of the seasons kind of had a growing theme going on. One was like, what was it? Like season 4 was all about undiagnosed depression. And all the episodes had to basically do with, the main character, Rick, trying to get over his depression and working on things. Another one was about family. How essentially, these people are his wife or his daughter and his grandkids and his brother-in-law, but they aren't actually his daughter, grandkids, and brother or son-in-law, because all of them are from different dimensions, so the different parallel realities all living together. But they still have that familial relationship, even though technically they're not. So it's about like found family and how that found family is important. One of them was just a giant meta joke about the fans wanting things from the series and the creators being like, no, we want to just do shit we like. I desperately did not understand if there was a theme this season because all the episodes were different enough where it's like I don't see the thread that ties them all together this time.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I couldn't give a shit. I don't even.
It was about actually. Sorry,
I don't even know.
I believe the theme. I believe the theme was self-discovery within itself because you got the cloning Beth, you got the young Rick, you got you got the double Jerry with the multiverse. It's about finding with yourself and be happy with yourself. I think that's what the theme of this season was.
Okay, who's fucking Rick and who's fucking Morty?
Rick is the grandfather who's an alcoholic, intelligent guy, and Morty is the grandson who starts out as a hopeful kid and is now a cynical bastard.
It was originally a parody of Doc Brown and
I got that joke. Even I'm not that stupid. I got the Doc Brown and Marty McFly reference.
At least you made it to being stupid.
Well,
I joined the Marines for God's sakes.
Yeah, you're stupid. Perfect.
Well, I'm not going to say that going into the Marines makes someone stupid, but green is their favorite flavor of crayon.
Yeah, I know. My ass always rides.
I like the orange one. Thank you very much.
Excuse me. I prefer purple. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you do red and blues, you get more of it.
I am sick and tired of the stereotypes.
Yeah, why is it got to be a green crayon? What? We didn't have choice. What? They bring that. Come on, man. Didn't you ever? When you bring a 64-pack of crayons in, it's like everybody's got their own flavor. It's like Baskin Robbins, bitch.
And when you go to the mess hall, it's like a buffet. They put them all out, and there's tons of them. I mean, there's multiple of the same colors.
I have to justify this. The reason I said green. Again, a number of years ago, I had a friend who was a Marine sniper, and his wife was the manager of the facility that I was a guard at. I used to be night security guard. For his birthday, one of the gag gifts she gave him was a Oops All Green, or it was basically 16 different shades of green Crayola crayon pack. Yeah, and the joke was, it's because green is his favorite flavor. So in my head, ever since then, green is the go-to joke for Marine crayon flavors.
No. Stop stereotyping this is all just having green. I mean, that's like saying the Navy only likes the gray or the blue, or the Air Force only likes the blue. I mean, stop with the freaking stereotype. We like all the flavors of the rainbow, bitch.
I'm just talking about it because that's what I remember from my past. That's why that's how I make that joke. So,
hey, we love all the flavors of the rainbow, right, Chris? Just everybody.
Absolutely. How else could you get variety in your life?
Have you guys heard of Skittles? Maybe you could eat those.
Disgusting. Skittles are disgusting.
Too much sugar.
Skittles are small.
They are disgusting tasting.
And I can't eat them. They don't have enough colors and flavors. Okay, we like variety.
And they're chewy. I mean,
they have shellac. I can't eat them.
Every now and again, maybe I want a caramel mocha crayon color. We're sometimes picky. Sometimes we're in the mood for I'm
just sick of the stereotypes where you guys just think that we don't have any variety in our lives.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone else watching this on a rewatch or like a clip would just be like completely not understanding what the heck we're talking about. Like, why are they talking about stereotypes about liking all flavors of crayons?
Oh,
you brought it up. Hey,
I know. But I'm just like,
you got two vets on here who are like, oh, we're sick of that stereotype.
Boone, I know the Darnell Moon.
Oh, sorry.
What the hell was that? Was that one of your little clips?
No, it's just Yahoo. I'm going
This
to my
porn
fantasy
suddenly
feed.
went off
Now,
mute.
Yeah,
I will say when it came to, I was watching it on Hulu. Elihu, I don't know if that's where you watched it, but there was an error on Hulu where episode 4 did not play and it just replayed one of the other episodes. I can't remember which one. So I did not watch the Easter Bunny episode.
Oh, where Jerry turns into Easter Bunny?
Yeah. So that's the only episode I didn't see.
Well, they replayed a lot of Cartoon Network. They've been replaying a lot of seasons for the past 2 weeks over and over again, along with season 2 and 3. I'm like, enough of season 8. Get back to season 1. Come on, stop playing the same episode over and over again every other day. Because I watch Cartoon Network at night sometimes. I'm like, okay, what Rick and Morty is on tonight? Damn it, I've seen this one 2 days ago.
Well, you know why they're focusing a lot on season 8, right?
Why exactly?
Because isn't this the first full season where Justin Brolin doesn't voice both Rick and Morty?
Oh, that's right.
So, yeah,
Okay,
I think that's the reason why.
I'm gonna guess you guys are really into that show.
it's hilarious.
I try to. My son loved it. I tried to watch a few episodes with him. I'm like, it's not for me. It just didn't work for me. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I didn't get the. It was like what was that thing? What was that thing that like MTV or somebody was doing? They had this like Aeon Flux and things like that people were really hyped up about, and I watched it and I was just like, not my thing.
Okay, yeah, just going back to what I was
I'm just
mentioning.
going to quickly
Yeah,
interject.
season 7 and 8 are the ones voiced by Ian. What's his name?
I'm just going to
Cardoni,
interject quickly.
Justin Brolin.
I got to go because it's supposed to rain today, and I want to go out and get my walk and groceries in before it starts to pour. So,
wait a minute, Dandelion. I have a question before you go.
Okay,
what
sure.
the fuck do you watch on TV?
What do I watch on TV? I actually almost watch no TV. I don't have a TV. I watch like YouTube videos mostly, and then some Netflix and some Disney Plus, like a few things. I guess I've watched Wednesday more recently. What else have I watched recently?
My daughter loves Wednesday. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen the last episode yet.
But I mean, I kind of like the Addams Family, and you know, the story was good. You couldn't guess who the bad guy was, so that was, you know, good.
Well, don't give me any spoilers. I still haven't watched season 2 yet.
I haven't watched season 2 yet either. I watched those first episodes of season 2, but I have heard that a certain character dies, which makes me sad. So, but I don't know if that actually happens or not.
But let's put it this way, and I know I only saw the notification for it this morning, Chris, but I still haven't even seen the last 2 episodes of Alien Earth yet. And that's
yeah, this is how I'm gonna explain that. The prior episode is a tickle me xenomorph, and that's all I'm gonna say about that motherfucking episode. And then I didn't even watch the latest episode because I saw it's a flashback. I'm like, I don't give a shit about these people on the Not Nostromo.
I have a quick question before I leave. Chris, are you doing gaming streaming tonight? Are we playing Jackbox?
Probably. I don't think I have anywhere to be tonight.
Okay. Well, I'll keep an eye on Twitter later on then. Okay. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you all next week.
Later.
And one of the things I do want to do, which I meant to do like 2 weeks ago, but I just keep forgetting because I don't spend that much time on Twitter anymore, is I'm going to create a group similar to the one Chris has for the Rumble, and I'm just going to primarily invite all you guys that are here, plus Dandelion, Captain MKG, and then anyone else who wants to join for both the CNA stream and the pre-show politics stream.
Hey,
so I'm gonna make one for each one.
Hey, there's something I kind of wanted to see if anybody wanted to get back into. I still have like 30, 40 different Risk maps that we could play Risk online again.
I still think I have it, but I don't know.
I don't have Risk anymore.
I have Risk on Steam. I mean, it's not on my laptop, but I can download it again.
Yeah. I mean, well, all you guys have to do is download it, and then, it's off of Steam, and then, I can share the maps to you guys. That's the nice thing about being able to do it. I just need, your Risk IDs to invite you guys in for that thing. And I'd love to do like we did before. Captain MKG and I, we had quite a few good times where we would play against each other and against an AI. And, there were some tense battles. And I'm going to say this, I never could beat Bird of Prey. Never.
Yeah, he always took Alaska, Russia, Australia first. Like, damn you!
He's just I thought I was good. I thought I'd be good at strategy with my military. It's just like, how the fuck is he thinking these moves out? I never could beat it. It's like, just kill me now and get it over with. I surrender. Here's my sword. Did you ever beat him in Elihu?
Never. I've never beaten Bird of Prey in any game. Wait, one time I beat him in that Call of Duty one time.
Yeah, but Risk, man, I don't know. I think only like one or two people I knew beat him at one point. I think one was I think Admiral Oliver Franklin. I think he beat him once.
I don't remember.
Admiral of Doom.
Yeah, Admiral.
Yeah, that's a name I haven't
Doom.
heard in a very long time. And he died how many years ago now? Like 4 or 5?
Has it been that long now?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I had not just started. I had been on for a while, but like maybe a year or so when I first started talking to him. And I think I was on streams with him and stuff for maybe a year, and then he died.
I was on streams with him for about 6 months, and he had his Locutus aboard cam that was just always fun to watch. See Locutus, see his little cat running around, and the guy just could come up with some of the greatest one-liners just right off the cuff. I was like, oh my God, I got to take notes from this guy. Yeah, and then he, unfortunately passed away. And I was like, damn. I still have my coffee mug. Also still have my old coffee mug of Bird of Prey. Yeah, I keep those around. Yeah, Doom was he was an interesting character. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Chris, you've been doing your stuff a long time, haven't you?
2018. Actually, I was doing it. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's see.
So I do have a question for you, since I know you seem to have a very knowledge grasp of, seems, the film industry and stuff. Did you hear about Blockbuster putting not Blockbuster, sorry, Best Buy? They're now putting physical media back out.
Yeah, some of them are doing it. I don't know if you guys have it. So, well, I mean, I know you guys have, oh yeah, not Spencer's. Well, Spencer's is one spot, Hot Topic. They're still doing, well, I don't know about Hot Topic again. Hot Topic kind of comes and goes with it, with vinyl.
No,
But
Hot Topic doesn't have them right now, and where I'm
yeah,
at. But
it just
Spencer's
depends.
does. Walmart has their their
But
exclusive. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to find a vinyl, a vinyl record store around here.
we have a thing called vintage stock around here, and the best way to describe it is, I would think it would be like a store Vile would have. A lot of collectibles, a lot of game. Well, I don't know if you deal with video games, Mike, but video games.
I got games.
Yeah, so video games, controllers, adapters,
We have a
game,
new record
game
here.
consoles, all that stuff.
I
It's
will
called
say,
vintage
hold on.
stock.
If you're interested, I do have vinyl on the SD Game Swap eBay store, including this week I sold a Chubby Checker record. So you never know what you're gonna find.
I'm very particular about my vinyl and where I get it from.
Well, one of the
don't do
things
vinyl.
my son, we turned our we called it the dog room, and now it's kind of the TV room, and it's got a big open area, and I was like, where's the record player I got you for your birthday, honey? So I've got it out there, and I started and I was like, well, where are the records we have? Because I know we have them. And I just started going out and putting records on, and my son had never seen a record before. And you guys know who Stone Loki is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. He sent me one time a few years back a Ghost of Tsushima soundtrack, and I started.
Nice soundtrack, dude.
Yeah, I started playing, and anyway, I was playing it on my vinyl. I was playing the vinyl of it, and my son just was like, "Where's that coming from?" I'm like, "Right here." And he's like, trying to, wants to know how it works and everything. And now it's like I've got Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack 1 and 2. I got the 2. I pulled out. I got Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then I told my son, because he had been interested in getting that because we had the first one. And I said, hey, AJ, I've got Guardians of the Galaxy 2. And he took my Linkin Park record off and just opened that up and immediately put that on. I was like, okay, my son likes vinyl.
Well, when we were moving the storage units, I found my old record collection, and I got a chance to embarrass Katty by showing her sisters the one record that Katty really, really, really wanted and made me play all the freaking time. Disney Does Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Disco, disco, duck. Disco, disco.
I almost bought a, actually, I would say this. If there are soundtracks I want to get on vinyl, it would definitely be a lot of the Disney soundtracks. Especially for those of you who don't know, Little Mermaid is my favorite of those Disney movies because I love every song in it. Aladdin and Lion King both have some of the most best soundtracks. Beauty and the Beast, every time I hear Beauty and the Beast, I'm like, okay, if you're not Angela Lansbury, I don't want to hear you singing it.
Yeah.
No, it's like when I tried to watch that live action version, I was like, the Be Our Guest. I was like, first off, y'all look creepy as hell. Second off, you don't say anything right. And then when they did Beauty and the Beast song, I was like, I want to kill you, lady.
That's not Angela.
Yeah, I know exactly. I'm like, you're not Angela Lansbury, bitch.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lady Gaga redoing Mary Poppins. Like, you're not Julie Andrews.
Did that happen?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I
You
would have thought
cannot
that it was
replace.
something
You
that actually
cannot replace
happened.
no, you cannot replace the original.
That would be like somebody.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That'd
You
be
cannot replace the
like,
original.
Metallica doing "Somewhere Over the Rainbow." It's like, no,
They have.
Judy Garland.
They've covered stuff like that before.
Well, there's sometimes where a version of a song done by a group does sound pretty cool. I think it was Metallica because I got hit on it when I did my short. Did the Power Rangers theme, and it freaking rocks hard. I mean, granted, the Power Rangers theme rocks harder than it should anyway, the original. But
there's
dude, you should hear the Metallica play the Star Spangled Banner before a baseball game. Before a baseball game, I've seen them play in concert. So I've seen them do that. So I'm like, yeah, I see Metallica play in concert, the Star Spangled Banner, a baseball game, but they were playing.
Okay.
So yes.
Did you guys watch? Since I know some of you guys are sports fans, I'm not, but I did see the Boys to Men national anthem, and I was like, "Fuck, they still got it!" And I just love how they brought that soul to it. That soul.
Better than Roseanne Barr.
Huh?
Better than Roseanne Barr's version.
Roseanne Barr did a national anthem.
Yes. Not only did she do it, she did it at a Padres game.
Yeah,
because at the time her husband was her husband at the time was a part owner of the Padres. So he basically pulled strings to have her sing the national anthem at one of their games, and she intentionally sang it incredibly bad.
Grabbed her crotch and spat, then walked away at the end. I have a clip for it. I'll send you the clip later. I'll find it for you, man.
Don't send it to me because I've seen it enough times. No.
I don't think I want it. And you said that was Roseanne Barr?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I mean,
it was in the 90s, I want to say.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. Was that during was that during like the Roseanne show? Because
I think so. But yeah, she intentionally sang it incredibly bad, and it made the Padres look like a laughingstock for a while.
Well, I didn't even really understand. Apparently, there was something going on about the Black national anthem, and I'm not trying to get political here. And that was the thing that was popping up my Twitter. And then they were talking to me, and I saw people trashing Boys to Men for being tone deaf and stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. I love Boys to Men. I'm like, wait a minute. I love Boys to Men. I'm like, this can't be right. So I go and look it up, and I put it out on the group chat. And Eli, I'm sure you saw it. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? They sound awesome.
They still got it.
I don't know.
Yeah, they still got it all right. I mean, they really had it going good.
I don't know. What else do you guys want to talk about? Because I didn't really watch too much this week.
Well, what do you guys think about Peacemaker season 2?
I haven't seen it yet.
I really don't care about that show. Eli, did you finish Dexter Resurrection?
I've never seen Dexter. I have no interest in the show.
Okay. I got the last.
Hold on. I need to write some stuff down. I got to make a list of everything I got to try to catch up on this week. This week's going to be a light week for work because the last week was a lot heavier because of certain resets. That's why I had to help out the one guy I was talking about on the other stream. So hold on.
Hold on.
So Dexter, I gotta watch the new thing.
Have you seen Dexter New Blood?
Yes.
Okay. And I did tell you before, I think I did explain to you, they do say how he survived.
Yeah, that's all I asked because I didn't,
Yeah,
I haven't seen the new thing.
It was a very believable.
It was Dexter, Alien Earth. I got to finish. What was the other one? Peacemaker. You just said that.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Kids' playground injuries and stupid reasons why they kick themselves in the face. That's a new show.
That's called Jackass Part 2 of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was called America's Funniest Home Videos.
And by the way,
I was thinking about doing a short. Right. I was thinking about doing a short explaining the story about. So my son came up to me at the park saying he kneed himself in the face, and I'm going to play the clip from Liar Liar. I'm kicking my ass.
Do you mind? I'm kicking my own ass. Do you mind? Oh,
so Peacemaker Wednesday. What are the other things I haven't watched yet?
Mankind.
Well, really quick, MBE asked, and I honestly didn't realize or remember, but I started my channel September 23rd of 2014. So I am 11 years in.
Good job, buddy.
Well, if you want to think about it this way, just on the number of CNA streams, because remember, there are times I took a week off. So it's not been, 267 episodes in order. But just to at 267, that's over 5 years of weekly streams that I've been doing.
Well, so depending on where we were on weekly wrap up, same thing. It's like I don't think I have that many of them, but that's something I started well after I was on. I'm 100 and what's today is going to be? Shoot. No, I mean I'll be at 163 today.
What the hell?
And same thing with you is I didn't, I went 2 years without fully doing like a week every week. So
sorry, I just decided to check last week's stream, Chris.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got 3 copyright dings because of your video.
Which one? Oh, mine? Well, then send it. Hold on. I can show you how to fight it or just cut it out. I don't care.
No, they haven't. It's not affecting the video at all. But it's just saying, the owners allow that material to be used, but they and it's not being blocked in any countries. But they wanted to let me know in case I want to cut it out.
Oh, yeah.
But I was like, wow, I didn't even know this.
I spent a long time. I spent a long time trying to make sure that wasn't going to get dinged, and I don't know. They go, and that's another thing I hate about copyright on YouTube right now is that you can fight something and win, and then they want to come right back like 3 years later and they'll hit it again, and it's like, wait a minute, we already went through this. Once it's done, it should like stop. It should be like, oh, we already tried that. Forget about it.
It's like with my TikTok, they give me a community guide violation, or in my latest one of my other videos, I got a strike, and I'm like, what the hell did I get a strike for? And I couldn't appeal it or anything. I was like, okay, what was the strike for? And it was like harmful language. I'm like, I was talking about the shooting at the Catholic school.
All right.
I'm like, no, I'm just like, fucking A. I'm like, what? I'm like, you got to really watch what you say sometimes, or you get dinged. Like, even here on, even here in StreamYard, you got to be careful how you word certain things.
Well, YouTube changed their policy. You can now swear within the first 30 seconds of a live stream. In the past, you couldn't, or otherwise you would have got dinged.
Yeah, I remember you saying something about that. That's fucked up.
And if you want to go by age, the oldest video I have on my YouTube channel is from July 28th, 2008. So over 17 years old. Now, I had videos before that I deleted, but that's the oldest video I currently have on the stream or on the channel.
I'm busy with my Monopoly right now to check. Sorry.
But what's kind of funny is there's an 11-year gap where there's no videos. So, I need to probably clear out some of the videos from the series that I didn't, I didn't continue on. Because I might need to get rid of like the old some stuff I found or the top 5 lists, some of the promos for certain things, the D&D thing that didn't go through.
All right, who said Pickle's name 3 times?
Not me.
Hey, Pickle.
How you doing,
I
man?
thought it 3 times.
What's up?
And I right now the current TOS episode is now the bane of my existence when it comes to making videos because of it's the first video or it's the first TOS review that Vile Style is a part of. And she is just like so adamant about not helping get it done. She doesn't want to work on the script, so me and Katty have to try to get together to get the script ready, but we worked for like an hour at one point and we only got 2/3 done. And then trying to hook up to try to actually get it done where I have the laptop in the car and I'm able to meet up with her since she won't get her friggin' driver's license, even though she's 21 years old.
And my 20-year-old just got his learner's permit.
Hey, my 18-year-old is getting his learner's permit, and he's finally starting to realize, oh shit, this means freedom. And fortunately, he's still scared shitless of certain situations.
Okay.
And he's like, Mom, Mom, when I'm driving with you, I don't want Dad in the vehicle. Dad, when you're in the vehicle, I don't want Mom. And apparently he prefers me over his mom.
Well, my 16-year-old feels the same way. She'd rather drive with me than her mom. But the big joke right now is that my 16-year-old is going to get her freaking license before Katty does. And
shit, I don't even know how my oldest even got around to getting her license. I never taught her how to drive.
Well, the only reason that we haven't gone and got her learner's permit yet, since she is officially 16 and a half now, is because her mom misplaced her birth certificate and doesn't. When she does have it, she doesn't want me to have it because she's worried I'm going to lose it, and it's going to be a really big pain in the ass for her to get another copy of her birth certificate because this particular daughter of ours was born on a reservation and on the East Coast. So trying to get a copy of her birth certificate is incredibly difficult. And to get her learner's permit, we need
my kids were all born in different states. Trust me, I know all about the pain in the ass about that stuff.
I mean, she was telling me it took her like 4 years of constant struggle to get her birth certificate the first time.
See, the only way I was able to get the birth, make sure I got the birth certificates was I showed up at the fucking hospital and made sure I had that. And I was like, they'd hand me one. I was like, no, I want more. Okay, well, it's this much per copy. I'm like, fine. Give me 3.
Well, I remember my sister needed her birth certificate. And my sister was born in California, but she lives in Virginia.
Okay.
And in order for me to get a copy of her birth certificate for her, I had to go to the assessor's office with my father's birth certificate, my father's or my birth certificate, and a copy. Not a because my sister had a copy of her birth certificate. She didn't have a certified copy, and that's what she needed.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a copy of her birth certificate, my dad's birth certificate, my birth certificate, all my IDs, just to show that yes, I am her sister, I'm her brother, and I'm getting this copy for her, including a notarized letter from her to me to the assessor's office saying yes, I give him permission to get a copy of my birth certificate because he's going to mail it to me.
Dude,
here's something. Can I say something? Can I say something? Here's something you guys need to remember. Spell everything correctly because when I was trying to get a copy of my birth certificate, I had to put a $20 money order and stuff. I just stopped envelope, right? So I can get a copy back. I misspelled my mother's maiden name. They denied me a copy of that just because I misspelled one letter to another, right? I accidentally misspelled it. So I had to put another $20. I had to put another $20 to get it. It's like I asked, like, "Hey, can I get my $20 back?" Because I misspelled it. Like, No, you already processed the funds. Like,
Yeah,
what?
they don't do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing too. There's some people who don't know their mother's maiden name. I mean, I actually, and I'm now that you brought that up, I wonder if my kids know their mother's maiden name is Rosenfield.
Don't you shut up, dude.
So to show you, I guess you guys have a hard time getting your birth certificates.
In certain circumstances, when I went to go get a copy of my birth certificate, hold on. I just wanted to say, to get my sister's birth certificate was a pain in the ass. When I went to go to my birth certificate, or at least a certified copy, all I needed to show was my ID. That was it.
So for my mother's boyfriend that died a few years back, I needed to get his death certificate. I am not related to the guy. I walked in and I got it without showing my ID or anything.
Oh my God.
My mother, I probably had to show ID. I don't know, but she walked into the health department and got it for my son, his birth certificate. I mean, and what's funny is here's the really screwed thing. So when my oldest was born, his name is Julian for me. I call him Julian, but his mother wanted all her kids to have C or K sounding names. So right when he was born, she's like, I want to name him Chris or Christopher because that's my full name. And I said no. I was like, I don't want that. I said, I don't want anybody saying Junior or anything like that. I said, no. She does it. I mean, she talked me into it. I'm not going to say she did it without my knowledge. I mean, I was right there, but she did it. But we put Julian and his other middle names. He has technically 3 middle names, and thought that was done. We get the printout, and it's my name, exactly my name. I go to the state office. I go to the health department near where he was born, and I paid $20 to get it fixed. And then somehow in the state system, it went back and got reverted. And I am so pissed off because then I have to go and pay for it again. Yeah. Well, he's over 18.
Love that shit. When they're like, oh yeah,
But that's one of the reasons why I didn't want him to have my first name, is because I know these things happen. So now he runs around with his driver's license, and other than the picture and like the stats, it's my name.
Yeah, well, my name is my father's first middle last name. My father's first middle last name is my grandfather's first middle last name. My grandfather's first middle last name is my great grandfather's inverted. His middle name was his first name, middle name.
My name, I'm named after my father, but I'm a second, not a junior. And I remember my grandmother always being like, when are we going to get just the third? I said, it's never going to happen. I was like, I am not having that. And it was so fucking hilarious because my ex-wife, when she got pregnant, she's like, I have this name picked out for her. Goes Jessica Nicole Liliana. I'm like, you can keep the Nicole Liliana part for the middle names. I'm like, but there's no fucking way I'm having another Jess in the house.
Like, technically I'm the fourth, but on my birth certificate, I'm Junior the third.
Junior the third? How's that even possible?
That's what it says in my birth certificate, Junior the third.
I don't know. Freaking Johnny Cash's birth certificate, his first name was JR.
So hold on. I have to ask Elihu, does that mean that smoking weed is hereditary in your family?
Well, they did grow out on the island, and yeah.
No, it's because we grew up around it, and we're not stupid like other people.
Well, okay. I don't know if you guys know the history, like from my family, but my dad was Steve Jr. My grandfather was Steve Sr. My brother, who passed away before I was even born, was Stephen with a V.
I myself, you got one now that passed away and one that's currently incarcerated.
I have two brothers who passed away, a living half sister and a living brother. So my dad had 5 kids, 2 that passed away though. But so my brother was Stephen with a V. I am Stephen with a PH, and of course, Katty's real name is Stephanie. So within 4 generations, we have Steve, Stephen, and Stephanie.
This is my brother. Larry. This is my brother Daryl. It's my other brother Daryl.
Yeah, well, one of the things is I didn't realize we started a trend here, but my wife's mother, her middle name is my wife's first name. My daughter's first name is my wife's middle name. So I told my daughter, I was like, okay, you got to have a girl and she's got to be named Abigail because that's your middle name. I said, you got to keep the trend going.
Well, having the 5
forever to come up with that one too, that middle name. I swear to God. Hey, Chris, when you came up with the multiple middle names, what made you guys decide to do that?
He was watching Spy Kids, got inspired by Little Cortesta.
No, I mean, I mean, my daughter has.
Let him answer the question.
My grandson.
So, both of my sons have 2 middle names. I'm a big Beatles fan, so Julian, my oldest, which is, I wanted to call him Julian, so that was for Julian Lennon. And then my youngest has a middle name of James. So my youngest has his first name and his grandfather's first name. My grandfather, my mom's dad, his first name is his first middle name. His second middle name is James. Well, James was my ex-wife's grandfather's or great-grandfather's first name. So that was one reason. But the reason why I liked it, and I was like, okay, that works, because it has a double-edged side to it, which is James is Paul McCartney's real first name. So they're both grandfather stuff. So my oldest, his first middle name is my middle name, but it's also my dad's first name. So he had his grandfather's first name, and then they have a third name. Their third middle name is from their godmother, who's full-blooded Hawaiian. So it's Hawaiian names. Kamialoi, which is my youngest, means bringer of music, and Kamialoha is lover of music. That's my oldest third name.
So Mr. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith, how many kids do you have that has your name too?
None.
And well, my one of the guys who runs the gas station up here, he's just found out him and his girlfriend are going to have a kid, and she's white, he's Indian, and she is determined to have a girl Indian name. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I'm just curious whether, and neither one of them can give me a freaking Indian name for a girl. I'm like, come on. I'm like, you're supposed to know this. I don't know it. I'm like, every Indian I know has an English name because they have to dumb it down for us stupid white people.
Well, I will say, I worked at a gas station a number of years ago with the owner was Pakistani.
Oh, was he?
And all of his kids have very Anglo-Saxon names. And the reason he did that was so he didn't want them to be alienated in school.
You know, it's kind of funny you say that, because I met, when I was in the military, a couple of different times. I had this happen several times. I've come across people who are Hispanic, and they have, very Hispanic last names, but they've got like the whitest fucking first name. It's
Yeah,
like,
my mother, when she married my dad.
really?
Yeah, my mother's white. She was white. My father is Puerto Rican. So she had a white first name, Karen.
Yeah, I mean, I met like, yeah, I'm Eric, I'm John, I'm Nancy. It's like one of my good friends. It was like her name was Nancy Gonzalez, and I was like, I had all three of these people. I'm like, what is with your parents giving you guys the whitest fucking first names?
Yeah, it's kind of like Mark, Matthew, Luke, John. Where the fuck you find these white people guys named in the Middle East 2,000 years ago?
We're not gonna go into religious talk right now, Elihu, but yeah.
No.
Well, wait. But I want to talk about my religion, the egoists. Really, really important religion. You should all join. We have meetings or religious ceremonies in this nice, cool area of some might call it a dungeon. Some might not.
And Chris, don't forget people get to sing along to the national anthem by Nine Inch Nails. Bow down before the one you serve.
Absolutely.
Because you're gonna get what you deserve.
What's that?
And I am only.
That was Nine Inch Nails who did that song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck, I forgot.
That's Trent, dude.
And I am only saddened, or not me, but the ego is saddened that his arch nemesis of Bird of Prey is no longer around. And while I know that the ego knew he was much, 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 much eviler and better than Bird of Prey, he is still saddened that we no longer have Bird of Prey around, because man. What is a good villain without another villain to try to outwit and outmatch him, right?
I think the thing is called Star Trek Discovery.
Oh, no, come on. Ouch. Oh, speaking of which, since you transitioned onto that Star Trek thing, I do have a question about the Star Trek Academy. What's with the female Jim Hadar?
Who cares? That's my.
Because why would the Dominion make female Jim Hadars?
You mean after 900 years?
Yeah. And after the Dominion War is over.
Yes, because I'm actually asking that question. Why?
The war is over. They don't need all males to fight anymore.
Yeah, my answer would be
before then, but they had the Jim Hadar long before the war.
My answer, NB, would be, why don't we speak Latin?
Latin's a dead language, and actually my son's learning it right now.
But what I'm saying is, things change over time. I don't need an explanation.
I understand that. I just would like a little... Look, it's one of those things that if you want to explain in a throwaway line, go right ahead. That's all.
Okay, TNG. Why is there a fucking Klingon on the bridge of the Enterprise? Same as the argument, dude. Let time go. Time passes.
Yeah, and they do explain it, but they don't explain it till like what, season 3 or season 4 of why Worf is on the bridge. Other than, well, I mean, yeah, they did have that stupid line in the first season. Hold on.
Comparing an apple and an orange.
But they did have a stupid line in the first season when Wesley asks, is that when the Klingons joined the Federation? And Picard says yes. But that, was retconned later on as to not really being true. The Klingons aren't a part of the Federation.
No, they just said no, they were still falling under the Khitomer agreements, I believe. Well, that's where I always said
Khitomer Accords.
The Khitomer Accords. Well, this is where I always said when you have TOS and TNG and you look at the difference in the styles, you got to remember that, I mean, in TOS, they had the Romulans, they had the Klingons, they were still exploring new areas and stuff. And by the time they get to TNG, the Kittimer Accords has all been done. We all remember in Star Trek VI, they had talked about downing the military aspects of Starfleet, which is where they were going back to more exploration and stuff.
Well, yeah, but they're supposed to be. So I think it was Enterprise. There was a part where I can't remember how they got around to it, but they find out that the Klingons will join in the 26th.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they were going through his Daniels' quarters.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And they find out, what is it, 26th century or whatever, I think. So I'd be interested to see if they just count that as a throwaway or something changed in the timeline to make it not happen. But
well, one of the things
they've basically told us it's going to happen, but we'll see if they do it.
Well,
you know what they have? Hang on a second, Andy. You know what they have never covered yet since Enterprise? Since Enterprise was quote unquote canon to the current Star Trek lore, they never covered what the Xindi did to Florida. They never said what happened after that. What happened to the Xindi after that? They never covered that.
No,
they fill it in. They live in the channel.
And I always thought that should have been when they did a time jump and gone to the Earth-Romulan Empire war. That would have
actually went through Colombia and not Venezuela because of the curvature of the Earth. I'm like, what the hell? That map was wrong.
Oh my God! You and wanting science fiction to make sense.
I had a nice argument with Lozzi about water displacement with Atlantis when he wrote that.
Somehow I took a left. Okay? Somehow I took a left at Houston, and I didn't end up in Albuquerque. I don't know, but I mean,
yeah, I know.
You know what Joe told me after that argument? He said, "It's TV." Yeah, I know, but still.
Oh, come on. I'm a hard ass when it comes to when I see a uniform on a military person in a movie, and I'm like, I know it's fucking off. I
was talking about water displacement or pressure waves. Come on.
Yes, it drives us nuts. It's like,
hold on.
That's not even the right badge for the right military branch.
No, but when it comes to geeks wanting, our science fiction to have hard science, one of my favorite things, and I know I've talked about it on this stream before, is, and I think Elihu will agree with me, when papers were written about the transporters in the original Star Trek.
You're copying yourself.
Sorry?
Yeah, you're copying yourself. You're not actually transporting yourself. It's a copy.
Well, not only that, I'm talking about when they were the people who mentioned about the Heisenberg uncertainty principle.
Mm-hmm.
Basically saying that if that was, because of that, we wouldn't be able to teleport anyone at all because, you can't know the position and the direction of a molecule or an atom as it's traveling.
Yeah, you need to calculate the O axis.
Mike, it's interesting you bring that up because I was the creator of Dark Matter showed a clip of the episode them explaining the transit where you're getting the clone copy and it has to go back in there after viewed. And I literally commented back, I'm like, and they gave, and I purposely called Killjoys Joy Kills for a very specific, I'm like, they canceled this show and gave Joy Kills 2 more seasons. And he actually responded back. It was just fucked up. It was the last great sci-fi show on Syfy.
Dark Matter.
Yeah,
well, the reason I'm bringing it up is because
with the black ships.
Well, the reason I'm bringing up the teleporters in Star Trek is because Star Trek did one of the greatest things I think they could have done for that explanation by hand waving it, saying the Heisenberg compensators.
Well, let's just get somewhere really quick. And I don't know if I think Elihu said this too in a tweet or something. I just want to say how against I am moving Space Force to Alabama. We all know it's going to end up in San Francisco. Let's get it to San Francisco right now.
Exactly.
I agree.
Exactly.
Just why are we taking the time? This just shows you how government spending is out of whack. We're going to move it somewhere it doesn't belong, just to move it where it belongs later. And
Starfleet is in Alameda. Come on.
Don't tell me that since they basically wait. Don't tell me that if, and this is not a political thing here, just let me get this out. Don't tell me that if Biden didn't touch Space Force, basically said, okay, well, we're going to keep Space Force, that means Space Force is here to stay. And if Space Force is here to stay, then there won't be a president in the next 20 years. One president's going to be a huge Star Trek fan, and he's going to say, you know what? We're moving it. It's going to San Francisco. And we're calling it like Starfleet. Space Federation or something.
Starfleet.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. According to official start. Hang on. According to officials, wait a second. Location, dude. I need to clarify location. Okay, I need to clarify location. San Francisco is Federation headquarters. Alameda is Starfleet headquarters.
Yeah, exactly. Also,
I need to clarify that.
Just out of a fun point that I always loved when the Space Force was created and everybody was making fun of the Star Trek
logo ripoff.
The Delta on there, and there, I was like, yeah, that'd be funny if it hadn't been the fact that we've had Air Force Space Command that had a similar Delta, which is what the Space Force was being created out of. And actually, if anybody owes royalties to anyone, it's Star Trek who owes them to NASA, because that's where their idea for the Delta came from, was the original NASA logo.
Yes.
I just love to point that part out. But yeah, it's funny. Somebody said, it does warm my heart to know that every military has balls, and now we have space balls.
Yes.
And I was like, my wife even saw that one and laughed. And I know people make money. I actually knew a guy who was handpicked. He was a chief master sergeant, and he was actually handpicked to go over to the Space Force to help stand it up. And honestly, there were a lot of us who would have stayed in if we had gotten the opportunity to do that. I mean, I don't know about Chris here, but the idea of being part of setting up a new branch, that's kind of history making.
I didn't do anything like that, but I mean, I did, where we did like new offices, where we start up new offices and stuff. I don't mind doing that stuff. I would have loved it. I think it's kind of absurd because there's no need for. Here's the thing. I'm okay with Space Force. We're just not there yet. It's like making something that really has no purpose yet. I know that they handle a lot of the in-air strategic defenses and stuff like that but like that always fell to the Air Force. I think it still should, but I'm not going to get into the semantics of that.
No, that's
at some point. I can tell you that Space Force does monitor satellite locations. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I understand what it does.
Is they basically are doing the same mission as. They're doing a more expanded mission than what the MAGCOM, which is what Air Force Command was a match. But now they're a separate.
Eventually, we're going to get someplace where we're going to have more things going on in space. I mean, once we end up going back to the moon, and once we start figuring out what we want to do up there, I'm certain they're going to try to put habitats on the moon for testing and stuff like that. That would be something that you'd want something like Space Force to handle. That would be their thing. And yeah, exactly. But the thing here is that I'm okay with Space Force being there, but here's what I would do is that if you ever wanted to become an astronaut, you would have to go through Space Force, and then Space Force then from that point on gives us our astronauts minus a few caveats. That would be the special envoys, like the teachers, things they've done and other things like that. They wouldn't have to do it. But if you're a scientist, you need to go through Space Force, and Space Force then needs to handle the training of our astronauts, and then they hand them off to NASA. That way NASA can.
I don't know about the handing them off to NASA part. I mean,
what I mean is then they go to that's NASA's pool of astronauts, because that cuts back spending by NASA on the training side of thing. It reallocates it to a place where the military, whether or not you like the military or not, has some of the best training procedures anywhere.
yeah, I mean, you can obviously put the civvies through the astronaut program. We've had plenty of them.
That's what I mean. I want that because then you could separate NASA to literally only be working on your methods to get to space, your satellites, and basically they'd be the R&D and handle that stuff. But when astronauts are needed, you pull it from the pool that Space Force has. Instead
But no, I like what you're saying here. One of the things that show For All Mankind, Elihu and I like, is what was it, Elihu? The NASA was able to patent their stuff.
NASA's patenting a lot of shit. Well, you gotta be more specific.
No, but they were able to make profits off stuff they would create through their astronaut program, through the space program, that I don't believe is in effect now. I could be wrong. Never mind then.
Oh, anyways.
Anyway, Chris, there is something I did want to ask you about.
Yeah.
Because it popped up yesterday. My wife asked me, she's like, so she watched that documentary, the Ocean Gate documentary, and I was like, yeah, I had seen that, and I just wanted to know what your take on it was, y'all being a bubblehead.
Welcome. Wait, what? Say that again.
Okay, that private submarine that imploded.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get your take on it. What your thoughts were? Did you see any red flags as being a bubblehead and everything?
Well, okay. So, how do I approach this in a certain way? One, I loved Titan. I love Titanic. First off, let's just start right there. I love Titanic. I was mesmerized by the National Geographic when it came to my house. My mom had National Geographic because my grandfather bought it for us. I loved the article when they first found it. It was a few months after, of course, because they wanted to get all this stuff, but they had this full that. Hold on, let me get on camera and fix my lighting really quick. There we go. Let me get this up. There we go. So it had like think of, okay, we're guys. Think of Playboy centerfold. That's how big it was. A centerfold, but it was Titanic. It was what it looked like on the map of what it looked like on the ground. I was mesmerized by this. That's one of the things. I love the ocean. That's one of the reasons why I went to do what I did.
Dude, I want to interrupt you only for a second because I felt the same way when they first discovered it. But I took it a different way. I was going into the specs of the Alvin 2 when it was.
Yeah, no.
Because I thought,
Thank you. That's the name of that Alvin 2. That was the unmanned sub that went down.
No,
right?
that was the manned sub.
Alvin 2
was the manned sub.
And I think Alvin 1 was the unmanned, but that was not on the first dive or the first when they found it. It was not with that. They basically built the small one that had the umbilical cord from Alvin 2. They built that after they found it because they realized, wait a minute, we could probably actually get into this thing because they weren't sure what they were going to find. They weren't sure if they were going to find a full ship underwater.
They weren't sure of the structural integrity.
Exactly. So when they realized they could get in, they started building that. If I remember right, it's been years since I've really read up on that, but it's fascinating. So here's my point on Ocean Gate. The Titanic is a graveyard, and people who take advantage of the intricacies of that particular wreck and exploit it, like Ocean Gate and a bunch of 10 Russian companies that have been known to do it, and most of them have been kept from doing it, but there's still some that get away with it. There's not supposed to be any more dives on Titanic unless they're like, you have to go through, I think James Cameron says it takes about a year to go through everything, get all the right permits and everything to dive, and it has to be for scientific or historical value. They dive on it, I think, twice a year now. And again, I have to go back and check on this. They dive on it twice a year now to check the structural integrity, because basically the bow, we all know, is organisms. It's not even the original structure of the iron anymore. It's just sea creatures now. But with Ocean Gate, the first thing I have to say is anything that uses a PlayStation controller, come on.
All right, and I just want to make a correction for myself. It's not the Alvin 2, it's just the Alvin, but it is the DSV-2 because it was the second deep submersible vehicle. But I want to correct myself on that because I was wrong.
Chris,
the rover the unmanned rover thing was actually called the Jason.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
So I do want to correct myself because I was wrong.
Okay, interesting what you said there, Chris, because my wife and I were talking about after she had said that someone, and I don't remember, she didn't specify, but they had tried to put like the inflatable rafts underneath to lift it up and things were falling off. And she says,
what?
Of the Titanic.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Yeah, and as she said, similar to you, it's a graveyard. And I kind of brought up, this might make a little more reference to us too. It's like the USS Arizona. You just leave it.
Well, so here's the thing. There's still talk about bringing up sections. There's always talk about it. Again, for historical purposes, people want that. A lot of people, it's always being talked about. It's just very difficult. Like you said, there's airbags, basically. They take them down unfilled, and then they basically have to go, and they have to basically weld or torch cut sections out to get the bags on it and float it up. And the problem is it's all by submersible robotic hands. So we are a lot better now, because if you think about it, robots do surgeries on people hundreds of miles away. You can have a doctor in San Francisco that does a foot surgery on me here in Kansas City. Those things exist, so it's a lot better. But when they first started and first said we want to bring the ship, the whole thing, they were thinking they could do the whole thing. So they did a lot of tests and realized it just wasn't going to happen for structural and all of that. Again, that's when they realized that it just wasn't going to survive. But they have taken parts off and they have brought them up, and those parts, again, lots and lots and lots of talk before they do those things. All the China and all that stuff that they brought up. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. But as far as the boat itself, it's going to stay there because people died on it. They're not going to do anything. But Ocean Gate was a purely profit-driven thing, and so he did all sorts of stuff to cut the ways. He manipulated rules so at no one time he could be hit or sanctioned or anything by proper groups. And we're not just talking about United States groups. We're talking groups anywhere. And then he did things. And my problem with Ocean Gate is one, again, carbon fiber is a great thing. But you can't make anything with a hull that's going to be under pressure with carbon fiber, because it has a breaking point. It just does. And you're talking about, boy, is it me? Is it how deep is it?
Yeah, I tried to explain to my son water pressure, and I just said, think of it as you have a backpack and you're walking, and every so often, every few steps, somebody's putting another rock in your backpack. It's
almost 4,000 meters, roughly about 2.5 miles, something like that, down. even the original submersibles that they found it with, they weren't sure. And those were heavily tested, heavily checked. He had done lots of dives, but when they found, how do I put this? There's some misconception on Titanic and how it was found. People thought that he found it on accident because he was on a mission to find something else, which was, now that we know years later because it was declassified, he was on a mission to find a naval sub. I can't remember which one. He found it almost instantaneously because he knew where it was. He'd already come across it from most accounts. And what he did is he did what a smart person would do. He wanted to find Titanic. He had a pretty damn good idea where it was. He was pretty sure he could find it, but he needed time and he didn't have the money. So what he said to the government is, I'll find your sub for you, but I want money. I want you to pay me that if I find that, you're going to continue to pay me for the full length of time that you're giving me. So they gave him like 3 months to find this. They set the terms.
Nice.
They set the terms, but he kind of walked in saying, I know where this sub's at. We're going to take very short time. Hold on, let me see here. How long did it take?
I had never heard this story, Chris.
To find the sub. And hold on.
That's pretty cool.
Let's see here.
Yeah, sorry about that background noise earlier. Captain MKG gave me an idea. I'm making a redneck version of Star Trek right now.
We're going to go back to that. I was thinking we got to have someone needs to make a video about some people dressed in Starfleet uniform saying, "Get in the shuttle, y'all. We're going to Alabama. We're going to the academy."
I'm trying to do 2 different versions right now. One's taking a little bit of time. It's at 46%. Been there for like 2 minutes. It's a little trying to render something. So it's supposed to be a redneck version of Star Trek intro. So I want to see what they come up with. I'm trying different versions.
So he was commissioned to find the Thresher and the Scorpion, and he had already he knew where those were, and he'd already surmised that somewhere between those 2 is where Titanic was. So he found the 2, and on a hunch, and knowing that he thought that it had split in 2, Titanic, he started looking for the debris field between the 2 subs. But when he found it, he had 12 days left to find it. So he incorporated that and said, I'm going to find it. But all the while looking for the 2 subs, he was also scanning for this debris field. He found it 8 days after he found the 2 subs. So he had 4 days left over. Once he found it, he had all the funding he wanted.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
People were going to give it. But yeah, he was pretty certain. So he advocated for these things.
So he took a risk, and it paid off big time.
And again, we only get this because I'm going to put this in the chat here.
Well, actually, that's interesting. You brought up the thing because wasn't it theorized? It was only theorized, I think, sometime in the last 30 years or so, 40 years, that Titanic broke apart.
Well, nobody knew. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Funny.
Nobody
you know
knew.
how
There
funny
was
it
a
is.
thought of it.
You want to know how funny it is, though? I think it was the year before. Hold on, let me look this up. Oh no. So wait. Oh no. So for 5 years before they found Titanic, there was a movie called Raise the Titanic.
Yeah.
Horrible movie because even the way it looks, it's like, oh my God, really? And maybe that's because we're older now and we know that it's just ridiculous. But they did raise. Yeah.
Did you see the Titanic exhibit when you were in Vegas?
I've seen them all. Like there's one here in Missouri. There's that one. Okay. They've had one here. There's a lot of them all over. There's some over in Europe. Everybody. So those, I can't remember the foundation that does it. They are a profit thing, but they also help fund ethical dives and recovery or restoration of stuff. And I like those exhibits. But yes, they have a full like 20-foot section of the side hull of Titanic at the Las Vegas one, don't they? Something like that. It's pretty big, if I remember right.
I guess the question comes down to is when do we talk about preserving archaeological history or history versus people like these OceanGate people who were just, you know, in my opinion, looking to grave rob.
Well, yeah,
I don't think that is a very tricky question because the different history comes in the person in charge, dude. Person in charge will say, yes, this part of history is good, and this part of history is bad. This person in charge who dictates who and what is history is preserved and how it's preserved.
Hold on. I do want to say this. One, if I'm remembering correctly, they weren't able to take anything off of the wreckage. It was mostly going down to look at it. Correct?
He originally wanted to do the arms and everything. Basically, the sub that they had was made at the cheapest cost he could have, and everybody who worked there, you've seen the documentary. Everybody who worked there said, well, we knew this was bad. When he would fire people who actually had experience and knew what the problems were, because they taught. I mean, this is very close to what's her name that had the blood testing, Theranos or whatever it was.
Oh,
what was that?
Yeah. What was her name? But yeah, she was horrible.
Yeah, she's
the only
here.
She was horrible, but this guy was more horrible because she wasn't technically messing with anybody's life per se. It took blood and didn't do anything. But she would fire people who knew it wasn't going to do stuff, that talked bad about the company or talked, and when it came to her and says, this isn't working, we need larger samples and stuff like that, and she wouldn't listen to him. Well, same thing with him. But karma has a way of fixing things. The only problem with this is that unfortunately it took some people with it that really were giving him money to do something that they, I mean, again, if you have money, why not, right? I mean, if you can get somebody to take you down to it. But man, so what do you want to know? Just what I think about the ethics or the sub itself?
Oh, I was just asking your opinion generally as you being a bubblehead.
The sub, I would have never gotten on anything that had a computer monitor and a freaking PlayStation controller. Small manned submersibles aren't like large submarines, but primarily there are certain things you have to have. So the control panel for a small, like 2 to 5 person submersible is much more condensed and less technically, not technically advanced, just less cluttered. I mean, if you've ever been on even the World War II subs and seen what the bridge looks like, there's a lot of knobs, there's a lot of buttons, there's a lot of valves, and there's all sorts of stuff going on. And there's many people to control different things. You have a person that's going to hold, be in charge of, the ballast and the submersing and surfacing. You have somebody that's watching sonar. You have somebody who steers it, for lack of a better term. You have
Derek can give you better answers about submarines than anybody else around here. Sorry, Chris, but Derek can give anybody else better information about submarines. He served on one for a couple of years.
I know. Chris is also, so did Chris.
He actually did the testing trials for the.
I thought you were on a battle, not a sub.
I was on the sub.
Oh, I thought you were on a battle.
I was taken off the sub in 2001 when 9/11 happened, because we weren't.
Yeah, him and Darren are both bubbleheads.
So I mean, I'm just trying to explain without going into the stupid technical side of everything. There's many people that are on the bridge to handle the different aspects of what the sub does. Just like there isn't one guy loading a torpedo. It's like there's multiple people in it. That's the thing. The military, with any job really, tears it down into many different positions to work together to do one thing. Short of a person with a gun shooting at people. That's a one person thing, but many people do it at the same time. But you still work in groups. I mean, like if those people who went to Afghanistan and stuff, you didn't walk the streets without people. You went out in force. But the whole Ocean Gate thing is anybody who had ever done anything around a sub or even a ship would not have stepped foot in that thing. Even if I had the money, I would have been like, if I had the knowledge I have now, and I had the money to go with just having money. Spoiler alert: Missouri had a winner in Powerball. It wasn't me.
So somebody won the Missouri.
Yeah,
if I had the money,
he wouldn't be here.
Seen that, like if I had never heard of it, and somebody said, "Hey, you want to go see Titanic? It's on Ocean Gate." I'd be like, "Oh, cool." And if I had walked on that boat and seen that thing, and that guy was egotistical enough that he was probably talking about it's carbon fiber. I'm sure he told everybody about it, and they did have safety, quote unquote, safety talks before they went on. At some point, I would have been like, wait. I mean, and if nothing else, when I saw that damn controller, I've been like, yeah, I'm out. Done.
Yeah, when I saw that controller on the documentary, Mike. When I saw that controller on the documentary, I was like, is that really a fucking PS4 controller or whatever PS controller? I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I was going to add, now most deep sea submersibles, they are structurally designed in such a way where even if under vacuum, they will not crush. It's a safety feature. That way they don't have to overinflate the crew compartment areas.
They don't have to overpressurize.
Okay. The Ocean Gate subs used their air pressure for structural support. So they were overinflated, essentially, to make sure that the ocean depths wouldn't crush them. That is a very... Sorry?
Listen, I'm no scientist on anything, but the math don't add up.
No, it didn't.
Yeah. So basically,
no, I mean,
like you've heard of
that they basically were. I'm trying to wrap my head around what you're saying here.
Okay, it's the equivalent of standing on the wing of a jumbo jet flying at 10,000 feet and surviving.
Hold on. No. Elahi, let me explain, MB. Take a bottle of water and empty it out. See, it's just got air inside. You stick it under the water, you can still squeeze the air, the bottle a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you put more air in there, it gets harder to squeeze when it's underwater.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what they did.
Well, every submersible has an amount of pressurization because it's the only way for people to survive. Now, that's why you get the bins and all that stuff if you don't depressurize. So if you're diving deep, especially, but even to some extent in a submersible, when you come up, you have to go into a depressurization chamber to make sure that it brings you to the pressurization of where you're at, earth pressure. And if you don't do that, you can get horribly sick or die. And so that's something I don't know what they did about that, because again, it's
called the bends. You get nitrogen bubbles in your bloodstream.
Yeah, that's bad news. And not a fun way to die. And
I learned that when I was learning scuba diving.
Doesn't that fall under Boyle's law?
Boyle's law.
Boyle's law.
Yeah, the first time I went scuba diving, the instructor said, "Okay, everybody's going below. Everybody's going to 50 feet. When you go up twice your body weight, stop for a few minutes. This is your first time. Do that when you're slowly rising up. Just twice your body weight, stop. Twice your body weight, stop."
So people who do deep dive, I mean anything over 100 meters like that, you'll notice if you watch diving documentaries or diving shows, where they're diving on stuff, you notice a lot of them drop a line.
Drop the markers.
They'll drop a line. They'll put an anchor at the end of a rope or a cord or something. They drop it, and what they do is they have markings on it. So at every interval, what they'll do is they'll go and they'll be told you got to wait here for X amount of time, and then they go down further, wait this much time, go down further, and depending on how deep you go, it could take hours sometimes, depending on what your air reserves are and all that stuff, and that's all calculated beforehand. That's why you have a dive master. That's why, you know, and if you're not just doing if you're just doing snorkeling or like within like 50, 60 feet of water, if you're just doing scuba and that, you don't have to have a dive master. It's always smart too, because you want people to know where you're at and all that stuff, but you don't have to. If you know
anything deeper than 100, you need a professional dive watch with pressure and your oxygen gauge. Yeah.
But a dive master is always a good thing to have.
Secondhand is important.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I mean, every step of the way, Ocean Gate just screwed up. So they kept it out in Nova Scotia over winter, which carbon fiber is fiber. It got water in it, and it expanded and contracted with the
got brittle
temperature and got brittle. They found cracks in it. They found the cracks in it a week before they dived. I'm sorry. I don't know how the guy even thought to get it, why he even got in his own sub. I mean, that is pure hubris. That is him thinking, I won't, this is perfectly fine and I'm going to prove it till the end. And you know, if he had kept diving, if it didn't happen, he kept diving and he kept diving and he kept diving, made enough money, and he scrapped that project and started a new project, and maybe actually had gotten smart and done things the right way with the money he had, he would have always pointed back to that and say, see, nothing ever happened. You guys thought I didn't know what I was doing. But that's the type of attitude he had about things. It's like, I know what I'm doing, and he didn't. So it would be like a kid giving a kid a bunch of Legos and say, make me a submersible we're going to go underwater in. That's basically what it was. He was a little kid with a bunch of Legos and built this submersible.
Yeah, it's kind of got going for you that typical corporate villain in Hollywood type. You know, it's like, I'm rich, I'm smarter than you.
Isn't it though? It's so
yeah.
Crazy
No, it is. It's
how
like,
would you kill? How would you kill that type of character in a Superman movie or in a superhero movie? You kill him the way he died. Literally, you would have made that the way that you would have killed him. It was like written like a movie.
Yeah.
You know.
It really was. I mean, it would
again,
almost be a comedy if it wasn't a tragedy.
And again, think about it this way: every dive he made, he was basically paying people to be put in danger.
Yes.
Shifty says it's really good talking about it on Max.
He made somebody, it's good, and I think that's what MB was talking about. But he made people sign their life away, basically. And by the way, guys, don't ever be fooled by those release of
indemnity.
Yeah, don't ever be fooled by that, because here's the thing. For the most part, whatever it says is complete BS. If you die because of something and it is fully found out that it was the fault of the operator or the design or something like that, your family will have recourse. Now, the problem here is it's harder with him because there's no money with the company. But it's horrible to think what he did. And he takes people down, and what was it? 4 people died. Unfortunately, and thank God I've never been in a situation where depressurization or implosion was even close to happening. But there are trainings that they do things to simulate possibilities. And the noises a sub makes, a big sub, there are horror movies that can't even, like, when you hear just the worst things you could think in a horror movie, the sound effects you hear that just make you curl, they are nothing compared to. There's nothing compared to the noises a sub will make.
I'm going to say this.
In testing
never
situations.
was on a sub, Chris, But when I was on ship and I'm out in the middle of
You
the
go
fucking
down to the
ocean
very
and
deep-
everything, I'm hearing all these different. I'm like, okay, did that sound good?
Just imagine that.
I mean, and you were underwater.
Before I end the stream, I'm gonna bring up a thing in a comedy movie that, to me, what you're describing, Chris, was one of the scariest things I'd ever seen. Down Periscope.
Yep, I knew you were going to bring that up.
When the old timer stretches the string across.
Do not think that is not the truth. You can do that on the subs to this day. The only difference is they're much wider. But the old diesel powered ones, I've been on one underwater just because I wanted to learn about them, and they had a couple. I haven't
been on a sub underwater, but I've been to like the USS Drum and the one that we had here in San Diego, the Russian sub, for a while.
There's a submarine at Pier 39. I forgot what kind of sub it is, but it's been there forever. I've never been on it.
But yeah, the farther down you go, that is the pressure of the ocean. So you can take a line that's let's say your whole width is 20 feet. You can go side to side with a full 20-foot. Typically, it's better to go like 22 feet, and you tape it to the side. So you have a little bit of extra, but just you tape it to the side, stretch it as taut as you can. And as you go underwater, it becomes like this and keeps coming in and keeps coming in. And it will go from this, and I have seen it where it's literally like this, like huge curves. And yes, I loved that in that movie. I loved that part because it's played off for a laugh. But when I first saw that, I was like, because I was watching the movie with my dad, I'm like, is that real? And he goes, yep.
Yeah, actually, my uncle told me that was real because he was Navy.
We never did that, but the nuclear subs are quite a bit bigger.
Well, not only that, they're also a lot more structurally sound, so it does happen, but because they're dual hulls now, or at least they were dual hulls back then, but
it still is going to have some effect. I mean, I don't know what. Yeah, it is.
It's not nearly going to be as bad as a World War II era diesel sub, but yeah, it's bad still.
I mean, but my love of subs.
I still can't believe we ran subs on diesel at one time.
Mm-hmm. My sub, my sub or my love of subs came from when I was. How old was I? Like 7 to 10, somewhere around there. My parents took me to the Chicago Science and Industry Museum, and they have a captured U-boat there. And at that time, it was outside. Now they've built this huge addition on, and it's inside now because the weather and all that was taking its toll. So they had to do a huge restoration on it. But I went into that thing, and the whole time I saw that, I was like, I was just mesmerized from day one. I went to Disneyland, Disney World. I can't remember which one. I went to both, but whichever one it was, they had a glass hull boat or something like that. Where they do. I think they might have it at Disneyland too, but I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
They do.
I want to say it's either a glass hull boat or it looks like a submarine, but it stays above water. I can't remember.
You can go to somewhere in Disney World. They have that ride.
Yeah, they do have one that goes a little submersible.
Yeah, and I love that. And it is weird because like they'll tell you, anybody that's a recruiter will tell you there are sailors and then there's submariners, and there's no doubt on which is who, because when you go in, you are rearing to go to a submarine. And they don't have to ask the question.
Well, here's something I just wanted.
Will go onto a boat, and a submarine will be like, "Can I go on a submarine?"
No, he's not lying about that because even in the Marine Corps, we knew there were squids and there were bubbleheads.
I just want to point out this before I actually end the stream, since we've been going for over 2 hours. We were talking about the Alvin earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The Alvin's almost 60 years old and still in use.
Really?
Yeah.
You retrofit it, you fix it. It's like any other shit. I mean,
it's the only one of that class that is still active. All the other ones have been retired. Some were retired in the 80s, 90s, and One of them was retired actually 2 years ago in 2023. But yeah, the Alvin is probably because of its fame is probably the only reason it's still being updated. But yeah, they do major overhauls like every 2 years on it.
I mean,
so
that sounds about
if
right.
you think about it, so that sounds old, right? You know, there's still there's a naval vessel that was used since 1797 that's still in service today.
Oh yeah, the USS Constitution.
Exactly.
Hey, 3.2 quakes
And
at
it's not
Dublin.
used in Navy, but it's still floating to this day. And it's still
well, if you want to think about it, the Alvin is a United States Navy vessel.
Yes,
it's on loan to the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Yeah.
But to me, that's kind of like in Star Trek when we watch, Seven of Nine's parents were on that, the Raven, right? Which is what the SS Vile was.
Yes.
But it's clearly a Federation designed ship.
Yeah, but it was RAS, not NCC.
I know, but it's like just like the Alvin is a DSV.
Yeah.
So
then there's I think Nimitz was in 75. The USS Blue Ridge was in 70.
We'll always have a USS Nimitz. I mean,
yeah, the Reliance, which is a Coast Guard ship, I think what was that? Man, when was that? 64, 65, something like that. And then of course you go to the US Constitution. I mean, but those are all in service. And while not used for military, like
more ceremonial functions.
Yeah, but the US Constitution is still considered a US military
on loan
ship.
Well, wasn't it like the same thing at the Space Museum, at the
Smithsonian,
at the Air and Space Museum? It's like
I love that place.
Yeah, I loved it too when I saw it.
The Enterprise right there, the entrance. You got to go to the right. You see Luke's X-wing hanging on the ceiling. I love that place.
Oh,
have you guys ever heard of the Cosmosphere?
No.
Anyway, what I was talking about was like the SR-71s were retired, but they were still, there, and they would still be probably property of the Air Force on loan to the
Here.
A lot of that stuff is on loan, but it's like on permanent on loan.
Yeah, permanent loan.
Because we have the Apollo 9 capsule here in San Diego at the Air and Space Museum.
Thank you.
And it says on loan from NASA, but it's like it's never going anywhere else right now.
The Cosmosphere has some of the most prized possessions of the space age. Trying to remember which bell they have. I don't know. They have one of the
Liberty
Apollo,
Bell.
No, one of the Apollo.
Yeah, that's the only bell anybody knows.
The Apollo missions. The capsule that comes down, and maybe it isn't the Apollo ones. I think they have an Apollo one, but one of those capsules. They have one of those there. They have one of the original Sputnik, one of the other ones that was never sent up, but it's a mock-up of it, but it's the actual Sputnik, what they sent up. They have a bunch of rockets out front. It's amazing because it's stuck in the middle of Kansas, like in the middle of nowhere, Kansas, about 2 hours out or 2 or so.
So they have a bunch of 7.5 rocket, like a rocket field.
The Apollo 13 Odyssey, the bell that they came back on.
It's called the LAM module. Are you talking about the LAM module?
No, I'm talking about the bell that they came back.
Here's the crazy thing. Elihu, maybe you can explain this to me, because I've never seen this in any of these movies when they show the Apollo. How the fuck they always show the landings, but they never show how the fuck they got back up to the module.
It's called a rocket booster.
I know, but they never fucking showed it, and that's gotta
Yes,
be
they do. Look
bit.
at the
They
look at Apollo 11. Yes, look at Apollo 11, 14,
Yeah.
17.
They showed they left cameras there to watch it take off.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I've
All
never
right.
seen
Hold on.
that. That's all.
I because I looked it up. It was the Apollo 13 Odyssey module is on display at the Kansas Cosmosphere and Space Center. So they have the Apollo 13. San Diego has Apollo 9.
Yeah, I've seen Apollo 11 at Air and Space.
I have
Sorry,
a pen
Kennedy.
somewhere.
Kennedy.
I have a pen somewhere. I can't remember which Apollo mission it is, but it's been on the moon. My dad was given it by the astronaut at some bar. He knew the guy, but it was given to, I can't remember, and that's horrible. I don't remember which one. I'd have to ask my mom. Oh, she's not right here. But he got a pen that was from the mission. It's a mission pen that had been on the moon. So those are cool little trinkets.
Okay, so each of the ones that went to the moon has a name, or at least most of them have a name, whether they landed on the moon or not. The first one that actually has a name was Apollo 9, the one that's in San Diego. I'm not going to tell you the name of it yet because I want you to just think about this. Apollo 10 was Charlie Brown. Apollo 11 was Columbia. Apollo 12 was the Yankee Clipper. Apollo 13 was Odyssey. Apollo 14 was Kitty Hawk. Apollo 15 was Endeavour. 16, Casper. And 17, which was also the last named one, was America.
I think you got 12 wrong. 12 was Yankee Clipper.
I said Yankee Clipper.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I thought you said Intrepid. Sorry.
And 9 was Gumdrop.
I was going to say, which one doesn't fit? Apollo 9, Gumdrop.
Well, I mean, again, I think that there was lots of different reasons why they named them. It's just like president's secret name. I mean, they've had Duckling, they've had weird name. Like, where do they get those from? I mean, it's like, I'm sure Biden was, forgetful or whatever. I don't know.
Well, speaking of the moon, the lunar eclipse has started, and I'm looking at pictures, and it looks awesome.
But okay, I really got to
would be a funny political thing to do on a political.
Let's cut this loose. I'll tell you what.
No. I was
yeah,
just saying that'd be a funny political thing we should talk about one time. Is like, what were their names? What did the Secret Service have to call them?
Well, I will talk. I'm not going to say who. A friend, someone I know works for the FBI, and they said that they've overheard several of the presidents for the last since like 2009, I think is when she started. And there's the official ones, and then there's the unofficial ones. And
next week,
while the official ones are used primarily, like for radio transmissions, for anything handwritten, it's always the unofficial names, and a lot of the presidents do not like their unofficial names.
Next week.
But
I could see Trump's being okay, Little Pete.
No, well, unofficial, yeah. Do you know what his code name is?
No,
Mongol. It's Mongol.
Come on, I'm thinking of the unofficial pamphlets.
He chooses it. Hey, he gets to choose it, man.
Melania's is Muse. Obama's was Renegade. Michelle's was Renaissance, I think, or something like that. And I'm trying to remember before that. I used to know a lot of them.
Wasn't Bush Cougar?
What were the Clintons?
Senior? Bush Senior Cougar?
Let me look here.
Well, we can talk about it next. We can talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Chris,
okay,
I'll see you
okay.
on your thing later on. And hopefully we'll be able to play more than one game because I need to win more than one game.
Yeah,
I don't have anything tonight. So.
Hey, what happened last time? I came in on your stream.
His work shit. He had work stuff to do.
I had stuff with my business that came up, and I had to.
Remember, he said he wasn't sure if he was going to do it or not. He tried. He had to work. He couldn't do it. So.
I know. You're a dude.
And it ended up being the clusterfuck.
I was at the time, so I don't remember all the details.
He tried, but his work, man.
I know he tried. You guys saw me. I was just curious. I hope.
I was rushing to get back here. I think I started it on my way back here. Oh yeah, no,
All right.
everything was fine. It's just the people were doing a show. One of the DJs for a rapper was an idiot, or not one of. It was one DJ for like 7 of the rappers that were there, and he was a complete freaking moron and didn't even know his equipment. And I spent like way more time than I wanted to be there because I wanted to come back. And then I had to start the stream coming back. By the time I got back here, I was already receiving phone calls because the guy who runs the place and whose show it was like, "Oh, this is all screwed up, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, dude, it isn't the equipment, it's him. And then finally other people were saying the same thing I was, and he started listening and got paid a little more because he realized the pain in the ass it was for me. That's good. But there was yeah, I mean, I got here, played a game, and I just was like, screw it, I'm gonna finish this game. And I did, and then after that, it was it. I mean, and you guys had LEG cut it like maybe 20 minutes before I was done. I was back, and that's by that time though, it's like we had already lost so much time. What we were really gonna do?
I had left before Pickles had even.
I know.
I was just like, okay, I'm tired. I'm a little tired. I'm stoned.
Tonight,
but yeah, just shoot me the link. Since I know you said you couldn't put me in your group chat. I don't know why. Maybe you're maxed out on it or something. I bet.
No,
well, I've had that problem with some people before. I've had that problem with some people before where I've tried to add them to a group chat. And it's like, no. And I'm like, but I can send them individual chats, but I can't add them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Get a blue check.
Well, I'm not getting Blue Sky. Okay. No.
I said blue check.
No.
I said check, not sky.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, guys. Later.
All right.
Later, weirdos.
Bye, Bob.